Well, happy holidays, vinyl community. Mr. Rick here, back once again, and Clyde also. He's sharing the holidays with me this season. Clyde comes down from up north where he belongs, where he lives, and doesn't do a whole lot. He just kind of sits back and listens to the music, and he helps me with the pulling the Christmas albums out of the shelves and things like that. Then after Christmas, he goes back up north. I mean back up into the attic where he lives. He has a place up in there, and you ought to see it. It's a mess. But anyway, let's get back into the week number 2. This is the letter C from 129 Christmas albums. And we'll start off with this one here. This is the Carpenter's Christmas album, of course, and this I think was produced, when does it say? 1978 when this record came out. One of the few Christmas albums I've heard that it's like a program. It just comes, there's no 5-second delay after every song. It goes from one song right smack into the other. The whole album's done like that. But a very good album. Of course, Karen Carpenter, one of the great Christmas singers, or one of the great singers of popular music. She certainly was a good one. And that's the Carpenter's Christmas Portrait from 1978. Up next, here's Johnny Cash. Goes all the way back to 1963. The Christmas Spirit. This is a recitation that he did, and it's about basically his growing up as a boy at Christmas time. Is what he talks about. He talks about his older brother Jack and his father putting on his gum boots and waiting for the fall and things like that. But it's a nice little story. And the Christmas Spirit from Johnny Cash, and some good songs there. And that was from 63. Then 1980. Here's Johnny Cash. This is classic Christmas that he recorded. And it's got nothing but their hymns on it. Basically, all of them are. The Christmas Guest is on here. I'm sure everybody's heard that. That used to be played a whole lot. Joy to the World, Away in the Manger, Little Town of Bethlehem. But it's a good sound from Johnny Cash from the musical year 1980. A&P, back years ago, it was another one of those Christmas things where you bought so many groceries and they could, I'm not sure if they would give these away, or if they're probably selling them. But this is Columbia Records came out with Christmas greetings. They're various artists' albums, of course, and they've got Barbra Streisand, Ray Conniff, Mitch Miller, and here's Volume 1 that came out. Oh, I'm not sure exactly when they came out. 1968 is when these records came out. And it's just a compilation from the folks at A&P grocery stores. An RCA compilation of Christmas joys. It's got the Boston Pops and the Norman Luboff Choir and Robert Shaw and Kate Smith and Danny Davis and the Nashville Brass. I bought that in Fort Myer. That's where I bought that record. And here's one a little more up-to-date of various artists. This has got Randy Travis and the Forrester Sisters and Crystal Gale and Highway 101, Mark O'Connor, and that's Christmas Tradition from 1987. Then the fine folks at Montgomery Ward, way back, I didn't put a date on this one, but I'm sure this one's from way back in the 60s, Christmas to Remember, and another one of those albums that they sold in the stores. And this one was put out from Montgomery Ward, from the fine folks at Capitol, and a lot of Al Martino and Guy Lombardo and Nat King Cole and Peggy Lee, and all those fine folks. And here's one that's an oldie. This is Vocal Line. This is Decca, and this is Christmas Time, a country Christmas album, and it's got all the old ones from the 50s. Elton Britt, Lonzo and Oscar, Loretta Lynn, Webb Pierce, and another compilation of all their country Christmas. And this is Christmas Treasures, another Columbia special album that I found somewhere. It's got all the pop record producers on it: Doris Day, Luboff Choir, Ed Sullivan's orchestra. I didn't know he had an orchestra. Percy Faith, and just an easygoing Christmas album. And here's an RCA compilation, Christmas in the Country, but it's not really country. It's got some country people on it, Jim Reeves, Hank Locklin, but it's also got the Anita Carr Singers and the Blackwood Brothers Quartet, so just a compilation there. Then here's an interesting album from 1982. Woodard Lothrop, you know, back before they had record albums, or actually before they had records, period, the people that had money had a music box in their house, and these music boxes were, some of them 3 and 4 feet tall. They were pieces of furniture, and that's exactly what they were, music boxes. And that you listened to the one tune, and when you got tired of it, you pulled it out and put another one in there. And this is what this recording celebrates. These are music boxes from the old music boxes from the turn of the century, and they're recording all this, and several 10 or 12 Christmas songs, and the first Noel, the Old Little Town of Bethlehem, O Holy Night, and a lot of the old Christmas hymns that were recorded on those old-time music boxes. An interesting album. Here's Perry Como. This is from 1959, Season's Greetings, and of course a good recording from Perry Como. On the back side, on side 2, he does the Story of Christmas, which has a compilation of old classic hymns in it, and he tells the story of Jesus and all that went on through the Bible. And Home for the Holidays, I think, was the hit off of this album, but this is, I grew up with this album, and we listened to this quite a bit. Perry Como's Season's Greetings. And here's one from Perry that, this is Perry Como Sings Merry Christmas Music, and this is basically just a compilation of all his old 78s that were released back in the 40s and early 50s. And he does The Night Before Christmas and several other Christmas tunes on here, but this is a good sound of Perry Como back in the 40s and 50s. This album came out in 1956. Here's Nat King Cole, Merry Christmas. Nat King Cole, this is where the Christmas song came from, and I think this was from somewhere around 1963, I think, is when this record came out. And this is also an enjoyable Christmas album. The Christmas song and Hark the Herald Angels Sing and A Cradle in Bethlehem. Of course, you can't go wrong with Nat King Cole. He was a good singer. And here's another one from him. This is Christmas Made for Children, and this came out somewhere in the 1960s also. And the only album I had ever seen by Nat King Cole was the previous one that I just showed you. And when I came across this one's got some damage on it. It's been wet, and having a hard time getting it off, but still the record itself is in very good condition. And here's a Capitol Christmas album, a Capitol disc jockey Christmas album from 1967. I found this in a radio station and just had to have it. It's got the records. There's country music in it. There's a little rock and roll. There's it's got Ella Fitzgerald, the Hollywood Strings, and Roy Rogers is in it, and Lou Rawls, and Peggy Lee, and just a whole bunch of all over the place. And they sent this out from Capitol. And here's the back of it. You can see that the music director has blacked out the records that they did not want the jocks to be playing. But this is a Capitol disc jockey album from 1967. It was sent to the radio stations. Here's another compilation. This is Country Music Gold, and this has got Lynn Anderson and Tammy Wynette and George Jones and Charlie Rich and several of the others on it. And this is another one. I have a lot of these. The Country Christmas Volume 2, and this is more into the artists of the 1980s, but it does go back and celebrate people like Eddie Arnold and Jerry Reed. And here's one from Columbia called The Country Christmas Card with Johnny Cash and Jim Nabors. Then we get into Ray Conniff and the Conniff Singers. He put out 2 Christmas albums also. He was very good and very popular in his day. They do a good job on Jolly Old St. Nicholas and several of the others. Ray Conniff. This one's in monaural. I think this one came out in 1962, and that was back around the time when he was really popular in the 50s and 60s, among the popular. And here's the original, the first one that came out. I think this came out in 1960. And this is Christmas with Conniff, with the Ray Conniff Singers. And another good one. This one's in stereo. It's enjoyable to listen to. The girls are in the right channel and the boys are in the left channel. And that's an easy one to listen to also. Then we come up to Mr. Bing Crosby. And this is the broadcast album. This was put out by, who was it? I can't remember now. Was it Radiola that put this out? No, the Fox American Collectibles is who this. This is 2 radio shows that he did. One of his, just his regular radio show with his son is in one of them, and then there's another one with the Andrews sisters. They do a broadcast also on this album, and it's a radio show with him and the Andrews sisters doing a little radio show. But it's an interesting listen to. You get tired listening to radio shows, though, right? If you listen to over and over again, they get tiresome. Here's his the album came out in 1956, but this album was produced on 78, way back around 1950 when they put all these together. Of course, Bing Crosby had been popular since 1930, so he'd been at it quite a bit and recorded a lot of songs down the 1930s and 40s, and this is a compilation of all of them. The Andrews sisters sing a couple of 3 of them with him here, and John Scott Trotter's orchestra was the person that backed up Bing Crosby. And last but not least, something I picked up fairly recently. This is from 1980. It's a compilation, I'm sure, Bing Crosby. And just a bunch of Christmas songs. Frosty the Snowman, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, O Holy Night, and so on and so on. And that takes care of the letter C. And we'll have to go back and get the letters D, E, and F next week. And hope you enjoyed that. Until then, Clyde, hey, wake up, wake up. No, I'm not mad at you. I just don't like you dozing off on me, that's all. But this is Rick Tyler and Clyde, and we'll see you all next week. And okay, this show's over. You want to say anything? Clyde says happy trails.